Alright, let's commence again to the Naval Heart, shall we? It's always the one person. Dag nabbit. Bum, 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 bum. I was contemplating on whether to do it on my tank or not. I'm like, nah. Bum, bum. Bum, bum. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Ugh. Okay. Oh, ow, ow, oh, holy shit. Okay. Ba-da-ba. Ah, man. Yeah. Oh no. Bum, bum, bum. Titan. 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 Holy shit. Oh god. Oh lord. Oh lord. Dude. There we go. Next time. Alright. Let's go back to the camp. Bum, 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 bum. Ba-bum, bum, bum, ba-dum. she is. I did not tell you she would return safe and sound. Did I not tell you she would return safe and sound? The deed is done, then. Titan is no more. Good. There has been enough tragedy this day. He has been like this since he regained consciousness. He believed he can hear us, but he has made no attempt to respond. He is almost certainly still in shock, but we cannot discount the possibility that he succumbed to the Primal's influence. Should that prove to be the case, he must be put to death like any other thrall. Such is the Alliance's policy. Yes, you have it right of it. Have right of it. But we must not rush to conclusions. After all, we once feared that Ilsa's followers were beyond reason, and many have since laid down their arms and accepted Ishgard's peace. We can but watch, wait, and pray. There is not to be gained from dwelling on and eventually over which we have no control, much less one which may never even come to pass. Let us tend to the to more immediate matters, informing Commander Bloedens of Titan's demise, for example. You may be certain that he will be glad of the news. Would you be so kind as to break it to him? Yeah, Afno, it's all your fault. I know what happened, God's help me. I was there, but the thought that we might have to seven hells, he's just a child. You're a sight for sore eyes. When the others came back without you, I feared the worst, but they said you had matters well in hand. All settled then, is it? I'm glad to hear it, but not half as glad as my men'll be, believe you me. Regardless of whether or not he was summoned properly, a primal's a primal, and there ain't a soul in the maelstrom that hasn't lost a friend to one. Don't get me wrong, like, we were all prepared to do our part, but we weren't so naive as to think we'd live to tell the tale. Thankfully, of course, it didn't come to that, which, my friend, sounds to me like cause for celebration. Now, I know you lot have places to be, but why not stay the night? We'd be honored to raise a glass to the triumph return of Titan's Bane.
Who goes there? Oh, it's you. Forgive me for straying from the camp. He hasn't been feeling too welcome, to say the least. I thought a change of scenery might do him good. But, alas. It's so quiet out here. The stars spread out before us, beckoning across time and space. Dawn may banish even the darkest night. How bitterly beautiful, those words. I should be stronger for all my experiences. Yet my heart aches more than ever. I never understood why Grandfather gave his life that day. I thought that if I came here, I would find the answers I needed. But when I finally laid eyes on the land he sacrificed everything to save, saw firsthand the bickering, the pettiness, I was disappointed. I was angry. I could not fathom how these people were more deserving of his love than his family, than me. Nevertheless, I had to believe he had good reason. I was determined to uncover the whole truth of the calamity and, perhaps in so doing, find my own purpose in this sea of chaos. My travels have been enlightening, but I cannot say that I have enjoyed them. I have lost count of the many petty crises that I was helpless to resolve and of the people whose actions I could not understand. There were others, of course. Good people. People with whom I felt a kinship, whose lives I could not save. I found myself asking what it was all for. Why try if I was doomed to fail in the end? But then I recalled Grandfather's words to my father, years ago before he left Charlayan behind forever. To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. We must all protect that which we hold most dear in the manner of our own choosing. We have to try, do we not? Of course, it's one thing to try and another to do. There were times while I was tracking the warriors of darkness when I faltered, when I was afraid. But then I thought of my brother, of Urianger. Oh, pray forgive me. This conversation has been rather one-sided, hasn't it? Mayhap you could recount some of your adventures in Ishgard. Gods! They must have been at each other's throats from dawn till dusk. I dare say you managed to keep the peace, though. Merely being in the presence of the Warrior of Light is surely enough to shame anyone into behaving. The hopes and dreams of so many rest on your shoulders, Warrior of Light. As long as the sun rises, we can but carry on, for the sake of those we hold dear.
To what end dost thou cling to the tainted gifts of the Mother?
Every tool has its purpose. Even this. Well, what is it?
The seeds sown in Vilbrand have been plucked from the earth and left to wither. Alas, Titan's demise sufficed not to drive the kobolds to deepest desperation.
What did the man in white have to say?
That we are to proceed as he did first set forth.
Well, that's easy for him to say. It's not his bloody world on the brink of destruction, is it?
Be thou well reminded that with an end to Ishgard's unrest, naught now remaineth to preoccupy the Scion's thoughts, and thus may they devote their every energy to thwarting thee and thine. I foresee only greater difficulties ahead.
Foresee? Are you sure you don't welcome them? I'm starting to think you might hold a candle for your old friends after all.
Pray do not mistake mine intent. I but look upon the path which lieth before us with due trepidation. Shouldst thou be of like mind, pray consider then another course. For the power to invoke the ardour belongeth not unto the Ascians alone. With thine own hand strike down thine enemy, the so-called hero who would see thy home lost to light. Do but this, and thou wouldst at a single stroke disrupt the all-too delicate balance of this realm, plunging her straightways into chaos.
You do realize what you're suggesting, yes?
To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. The words of my teacher, and a creed I hold close to my heart.
Very well. Draw her out. We'll make it quick.
It shall be done. What good a creed one cannot uphold? What hurts soothed? What lives saved? Oh, hapless fool, what hast thou wrought by thine own hands? Minfilia, my friends, I shall not now beg your forgiveness. Full deeply though it paineth me to walk it, I shall not stray from my chosen path. As Moonbreeder remains steadfast, so too shall I.
Plot thickens even more. Do-do. What ho, Akira? I trust you had a good night's rest. I was but this moment speaking with Thancred and Yasolo Viva Linkpro. They had some interesting news to share. Apparently, during the course of their retrospective investigations, both came across crates which had once bore Ishgardian seals. Twould seem that someone in the capital has been very busy indeed. According Ling, the Temple Knights have launched a full-scale investigation. Sir Almeric believes that it is only a matter of time before the culprits are found, but I shall have to wait and see. In the meantime, it seems only prudent to look into the recent activities of the other tribes, in case they too are flush with its guardian crystals. And with that in mind, I suggest we pray Uranje another. Wait, where's Alice? She was here a moment ago with Gobu. Oh, Alice, come out to play. Let me guess. It's time to leave. Oops, fuck. Fuck. My apologies for disappearing again. If it's any constellation, I have already packed my things. How is he? Brother Commander Bloedin, something tells me you are not solely here out of concern for his welfare. But to answer your question, there has been no change. He will not speak or eat. I'm not even sure if he slept. If he did, he seems none the better for it. He just shovels about with that same expression on his face. Will you look after him, won't you? You will look after him, won't you, Commander, and treat him with every kindness? He's still in there, I know it. Beneath the anguish and despair, he's still fighting with all his heart. He deserves to be given that chance until he comes back to us, until we know for certain what has become of him. You needn't worry. If he hadn't risked his neck to warn us and help you secure the better part of the crystals, this could have turned out a damn sight worse than it did. We'll not soon forget that, and nor will Maelstrom Command. I'm so sorry, Gabu. I truly am. You sure never have... fuck. You've been, you should never have been made to, and I know I cannot possibly understand. Mayhap there is another I can do or say. The pain, the anger, the helplessness. Hold fast to the memories of better times. Remember them as they were. And when it hurts so much your heart feels fit to burst, let it burst, and fill your up again with your love for them, and never ever forget. Come along, little one. I will remember them, and you, Alice, thank you. Oh my God. Have faith, sister. Your words have reached him. In time, he will recover. And those who orchestrated these events will be made to answer for their crimes. 1,000 times over. Aye, there will be a reckoning. We have heard the grand tidings from Ogahamara. My friends, by the grace of the 12th and your most valiant efforts, the people of Limsa Luminsa may rest easy. I would like to think so, yes, though we failed to prevent the Lord of Craigs from manifesting. We did succeed in weakening him, enabling our friend to dispatch him before the Warriors of Darkness could make matters worse. 'Twas by no means an unmitigated success, but it will have to suffice. Then let us speak of another matter, one which weigheth heavy on my lady's mind. As thou didst request, I sought out the G-Run oracles that we might better understand the aims of the Warriors of Darkness. Though their copious use of allegory defieth any single preparation, the oracles paint a most disturbing picture, one of worlds parallel to our own, apart yet linked, reduced to ruin with every umbral calamity. 7 times have they succeeded. Then the 10 and 3, only 6 worlds remain. Aye, all is as my lady Minfilia spake unto thee. As for what becometh of these reflections when they and the source are rejoined, frail flesh undone in umbral fires, each soul surrendereth to her call to flow unto the endless sea, there to endure as one and none. Then if the Warriors of Darkness succeed, everyone in their world will die. In essence, the verse speaketh of the renunciation of the flesh and subsequent return to the life stream. However, this fate may yet be preferable to the alternative, for if the first were to fall to transcendent light in the manner of the Warrior of Darkness described, it would give way unto a void wherein none may know either life or death. Far better to die, they reason, for in death there is life. The essence of a soul which returneth unto the source may be born anew, saved, such as at least is their belief, I surmise. If that is true, then gods, no one should ever have to make such a choice. We speak further on this subject. I would share with thee another recent discovery. 'Twould seem the several sizable shipments of crystals have been delivered into the hands of certain Alamegan parties. Alamegans? Strange. And you believe this be the work of the same Ishgardian smugglers who supplied the beast tribes? I know beyond a shadow of doubt, unless thou would wonder at their motive, I would remind you that the Asians did once attempt to bring about the summoning of Ralgar. The individuals who took receipt of these shipments are refugees belonging to a group devoted to the cause of the Alamegan liberation. It may also interest thee to know that their Ishgardian supplies appear to be none other than the remnants of Elin Rowley's network of spies. Surely you jest, and yet it is not so surprising. Bereft the leader of leadership and hunted by the Alliance, I can well imagine such villains being desperate enough to conspire with the Asians, assuming they even know or care who their new employer are. All of which is irrelevant. Forgive me. We must seek out the resistance group which received the crystals without delay. Akira, Alice, will you come with me to Little Alamigo? Yes, of course. I should like to hear what they have to say for themselves firsthand. May you ever walk in the light of the crystal. Alfino, Alice, Akira, are you three listening? Good, I have tidings. The Temple Knights raided the smuggler's warehouse less than an hour ago. A cursory interrogation of the prisoners yielded confirmation that they were in the employ of, and I hope you are sitting down, a man in black robes. Then you have them, and the crystals too? What few remained, I regrettably, it would seem they dispatched one final shipment in the hours before we struck. 'Twas bound for Little Amigo. We have told where it will be received by members of the local resistance group. Since Sir Almeric's men no longer have need of my services, I have a mind to head that way. As do we. By happy coincidence, we learned of the shipments but a few moments ago. Ha! And there I was thinking I might finally be one step ahead of the Warrior of Light and her little helpers. Wait a moment. There is more, and I defy you not to be surprised by this revelation. The leader of the Ishgardian smugglers was formerly in the employ of one of Eileen Rowley, the infamous Ivy herself. Once again, Tancred, I fear I must inform you that Tancred, with whom else have you shared this information? About the smugglers, no one. As I think I mentioned, the raid was less than an hour ago. I was planning to contact your solo next, but is there someone else you would have me notify first? No, there isn't. I love it like Hallows says like, "Take her sus," and Alphino's like, "What? What in the world has gotten into her? It is twice now that we have sought Iranje's aid, and twice she has treated him as if he were a stranger. The Archon was one of grandfather's most delicate pupils and spent as much time as Livier estate as we did. He's practically a member of our family. Truth be told, I struggle to recall a day from my childhood when I did not see the three of them laughing together. If this continues, I may have to raise the matter later, though. Little amigo awaits. Alright. I will get to the bottom of this. Oh, forgive me. Has been a long day. Did you have something to say? Uranje, I've always struggled to understand what's going on in his head, now more than ever. Listen, Akira, if anything should happen, it should be me who just know that I am prepared to do what must be done. Right then, to more pressing matters, since we have no idea when Tancred might arrive, I suggest we see what information we can gather in his absence. So to review, we are reliably informed that the members of the Alamigan resistance operating here have taken receipt of several large shipments of crystals. Our task being as to ascertain who and why. Given the size of the settlement, I find it hard to believe that anyone here could be wholly unaware of the resistance movements. The challenge, of course, will be finding the individuals who are both able and willing to share such information with outsiders. It would seem sensible to divide our forces. Akira, why don't you question the residents in the eastern half of town? Alexander and I will do the same in the rest, and afterwards we can rendezvous here to share our tidings. The resistance, damned if I know. It's not as if I'd be any use to them. If you set store by all these tales of secret weapons, good luck to you, but I'm certain I'm too old for the mask behind bedtime stories. There is our this is our lot, and it's time we got used to it. Okay, my brain's not working at the moment. Oh. I see you there, going around asking questions, looking for the griffin and his lot, I bet. Seems they're the talk of Little Alamigo these days. Folk wondering what he's about, what he's got in store for the Gallians, and what's under that mask of his, of course. Some say he's hardly got a phase. What with all the scars, other reckons he's been marked for death by the Empire, and that they'd send a bloody legion in if they knew he was here. Your guess is as good as mine. Let me guess. Come to join the fight, have you? No need to deny it, friend. You're not the first to answer the Griffin's call. Well, he's lit a fire in every Alamigan's heart. He's also inspired more than a few Udanians to pledge themselves to the cause, and little wonder the Garleans won't stop until we're all under the yoke. I suppose I should ask what you learned, but I think I already know. The Griffin seems to be the leader of a newly formed faction within the Resistance, the Mask. Yet, despite their growing popularity, no one seems to know much about them. Only that they are the most aggressively militant group to join the movement in recent memory. Indeed, many claim their commitment to the cause of Alamigan liberation is unrivaled. We can but hope their revolutionary fervor is never channeled in the direction of a primal. Though I feel confident that this is the group which received the crystal shipment, we yet lack proof. Before taking any action, I would speak. Wait one moment. I would speak with the shipment's leader to confirm my suspicions, and mayhap enlist his help while I am about it. Given that you and Gandobald are already acquainted, mayhap it would be best if you took the lead, shall we? Much as it pleases me to see you again, Akira, I cannot help but wonder if I should be worried. I hear you and yours have been asking questions. The Griffin, I know him, as do we all. He and his masks have become a leading faction within the Resistance, so there was suspicions at first. Given his secretive ways, he quickly proved himself a charismatic and capable commander. Men are drawn to his passion and his visions. They truly believe that he has what it takes to lead them to victory. But I cannot help but admire the man for what he's accomplished, but I have not forgotten well read. I was blind to the danger of his ambitions, and you were not. The Griffin will soon deliver a speech to our people at the Sucking Temple of Quaring. Go and see him with your own eyes, weigh his words in your own heart. How convenient, how convenient, this, but a pity Thancred is not here to join us. You two go on ahead. I shall stay behind and wait for him. Has it begun already? I hear voices coming from within.
Brothers and sisters, 20 years ago, Alamigo, our home, was claimed by the Garlean Empire. In our haste to overthrow the King of Ruin, we turned a blind eye to our foes in the north. With our glorious revolution, we but laid a path for a new tyrant to succeed the old. And when confronted with our failure, we fled. Not a day goes by that I do not think of those we left behind. Think of them and feel ashamed. And I know each and every one of you feels the same. We abandoned them, our own flesh and blood, to labor till their backs gave in and their breath gave out, building the twisted steel ramparts which now mar our once majestic mountains. We abandoned them, the brave and true, to fight and die for their country, or worse, to be conscripted and sent off to rob another poor bastard of his home. We abandoned them, the meek and powerless, to bow and scrape when the Garleans pass, to sully themselves that they might live to see another day of misery. The Black Wolf may be dead, but a new Imperial Viceroy reigns in Alamigo now. A beast, not a fraction as merciful. You all know the Eorzean Alliance will do naught to oppose him. For all their promises and platitudes, they will not act if there's no profit in it. Only we can free our brothers and sisters from the Empire's tyranny, my friends. Only we have the courage to stand and fight. They have imprisoned us. They have enslaved us. And they have murdered us. But no more! Blood demands blood, and the Garleans shall pay for every drop they have spilt upon our lands. This I promise you, for we have a power within us, my friends. A power befitting our pride, our righteousness. Only join us, and we shall grant you the means to unleash it, and together we shall see the Alamigan standard raised over the mountains of Gir Arbania once more!
A power befitting their pride. Not at all ominous, that. Wait, is that...
What are you two doing here?
I could ask you the same thing.
Well, this is quite the surprise.
If you see what I see, if you feel as I feel...
Might I suggest we continue this conversation in more agreeable surroundings?
For it is not strength of arms that will win this battle, but strength of heart.
Alright, let's finish. Oops. Words cannot express how glad I am to see you both alive. And you, though it was pretty obvious you and Akira would be fine. The Crystal Braves never had a realistic chance of capturing any of the signs, divided as they were and distrusted by the better part of Eurasia. But if you truly believe that, forgive me, what exactly have you two been doing all this time? Repaying a favor. After the banquet, we had no choice but to flee Ul'dah, and we would not have been able to do so without the aid of some old friends from the Resistance. That's right, they smuggled us out of the city and sheltered us in Little Alamigo, all at great risk to themselves. Obviously, we couldn't let that go unacknowledged, so we offered to help them out with their operations for a while. When we learned that the science exoneration that Lorito had severed all ties with the Crystal Braves and that General Raban has been reinstated, we resolved to make contact, but having long since discarded our link pearls as a precaution measure, our options were rather limited. To make matters more complicated, we were embroiled in a delicate operation at the time, leaving me with little choice but to entrust a letter to a courier. I gather from your puzzled expressions, however, that you never received it. To be honest, we thought this might happen. While the masks are happy to let the refugees spread the word within the community, they're pretty strict about communicating with outsiders. Oh, and we also heard a rumor that the Griffin doesn't want us meddling in his affairs. The Griffin mistrusts the signs of the Seventh Dawn. Curious, it is well known that we are no friends to Galamold. One would think the man we saw beseeching all the sundry to join his cause would welcome our support. I should say that the man you saw was not in fact a Griffin, but an impersonator, and a talented rabble-rouser to boot. 'Twould not surprise me if he were responsible for the majority of these public appearances. As you may have gathered, the Griffin is an extremely cautious and distrusting man who has made every effort to conceal his identity. Even when we had participated in a raid under his direct command, we were not permitted to approach him. It's hard to know what to make of it. The secrecy, the imposters, the mask. What? It's not as if I'm making all of you wear one, and mine only covers half my face. It's completely different. Anyway, when we heard the Griffin was due to give its speech, we thought it might be a good opportunity to get a better sense of the man behind the, for all the good it did. And now you have heard the whole of it, but tell me, what prompted you to take an interest in the Griffin? Summoning? You're not serious. I can't believe it. The Resistance would never even entertain such a ridiculous plan. But the Griffin, well, the man is an enigma. I cannot say with any confidence what he would or would not do. What I can say, however, is that the speech we heard today was not the first to make reference to a power capable of defeating the Empire. The Mask have made many such claims of late. I confess I have assumed it to be mere bluster, but in the context of the shipments of which you spoke, it is not impossible that they are alluding to a primal. Wherever it is, we'll find out together, and if anyone tries to stop us, they'll answer to me. Indeed, that is assuming you'll have us. Alright. That concludes this episode of 14. Next episode, we'll continue with MSQ and hopefully finish 3.4. Till then, have a nice day. Fare thee well.